We're going to be doing another video. I have this steering wheel, which is a stock steering wheel. It's in nice shape, especially after I cleaned it. It was clean already, and I just got one of those McGuire's wipes, and it really looked a lot better. But I'm still going to change it. I used to actually drift professionally, believe it or not, for Dunlop, and this came off my drift car, which is a Nardi wheel. Doesn't really match like the wood grain on the car, but I still want to use it. A lot of people do swap Nardis out, or swap steering wheels out for Nardis in Japan, and it's a great steering wheel. So you do need one of these hub adapters, and it looks like it was made the year this car was made. I mean, the box is just beat up. It's probably as old as the car itself, or older, because this is actually made for prior years also. But anyway, just make sure you get original stuff. I don't like buying all the eBay copy stuff. You get hubs for $14, but really it's a steering wheel. So and the steering wheels especially, don't buy those $30 steering wheels. Don't buy the fake Nardi wheels, because they do flex a lot and you don't want it flexing. But anyway, they're just more for looks. But we're going to go ahead and install this. So the first thing you want to do is disconnect the batteries. Even though this doesn't have airbags, you do want to disconnect the batteries just so you don't go honking all over the place. We have to remove this so we can get to the nut. And this is the equipment I chose. You don't need to, if you already have tools. I have tools everywhere, but they're all over the place and I can't find them ever. So I got this. It's a 35-piece set from Harbor Freight. That was like 38 bucks. But this is what you really need. The steering wheel puller. It's a lot of hardware for 15 bucks, 16 bucks, something like that, $15.99. So we're going to use this to pull the steering wheel off. And it also works for other stuff like harmonic balancers, gear pulleys, steering wheels, crankshaft pulleys. If you don't want to buy this, if you have like an AutoZone or whatever, one of those auto places, they should be able to rent you one for free. So just look around for that. But I bought one. Alright, so I won't be using the tool set since it's basically all SAE. I wasn't looking at the box. But I also wanted to mention to get thread lock, because you do want to lock up the, not permanently, but you do want to lock up the nut in there. So as far as taking it off, right behind here, it's kind of hard to see. I don't even know if I could show you. Where is it? My finger. I don't know if it's even visible. Right here, under the steering wheel, right behind this spoke pretty much. There's a little screw you want to take off. Then you just pop off this thing. Just be careful, there's a wire behind it, which you can detach from there. And you can see the nut right down there. Alright, so I'm using an extension and a 17 socket. I locked the wheel here, so I'm just going to go ahead and break this. Not literally. Once you got the nut out, you'll notice there's a lock washer down there. Another tip is to use some kind of marker. In this case, I'm using an acrylic paint to indicate where center is. In case you want to put it back in the center, you'll know exactly where it is. Alright, so here is the steering wheel puller. We're going to obviously need this piece here. We're also going to need this longer arm here, and I believe this here, which centers on the nut there to pull it out. Don't know which one yet. There's a couple here, and then we're going to need these long bolts. Okay, these are the ones down here, are the ones that are for this car. Obviously, you want to check, make sure it is. All right, so apparently you also have to remove this. There's screws. You can see the holes up there. There's about 6 screws, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Pull that out. The washer also fell out in there with the other 2 screws. There are machine screws and then like the self-tapping screws, so just be careful which ones you use. Alright, so I got it on there. I put these 2 long screws there. I tried to do it as straight as possible. You'll see it's still kind of at an angle. I'm probably doing something wrong. It's not the first time I've had to do this. It just happens to be, you know, the spacing and everything on here just leads me to have to do it that way. I tried different orientations, but basically it's going to do what it needs to do, which is to push on that nut down there. So I have a, what is this? A 14 on here, and we're just going to crank this till it pops. I think it popped there while I tried to turn the wheel. So, yep, it popped. So we just got to take the steering wheel off. I jumped ahead without showing you too much of what I did, but basically I put dielectric grease on the contact on the bottom of the hub. I lined up the arrow of the hub to where the purple is as much as I could. And obviously I'll have to drive it before I can see if it's straight. And then I put the washer, and the only thing I have to do now is put the nut on and tighten it up. Another important thing I almost forgot is put thread lock on the nut. Alright, so you can see I took the nut off, put thread lock on. The hub wire connects to the horn here. And then that's it. And you just got to put the steering wheel back. It's nothing fancy. I'm probably not going to show that. I'll show you the end result, but the screws all go in there. Depends on the steering wheel that you have. And that's what it looks like on there. I'm holding the camera weird because it doesn't have wide angle, but that's what the steering wheel looks like on the car itself, all set and done. Just got to put a couple of screws on, but I'm going to do a little tidying up. But that's about it. That's it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below.